pet captain for picture cars know if I have to leave the car?
If you have to go to the washroom, absolutely. You'll have a walkie, or you have a cell number. You can call him and let him know, and just say I'm going to be 5 minutes, so he knows, and he gets back. Because again, making movies is it's moving parts. It's constantly moving. They're changing things on the fly. They've dropped this shot list. They're going to add this shot list.
So I should always stay with the car when on set?
Absolutely, absolutely. Picture cars are very important. Very important. There's 3 things directors don't like to shoot. One is animals and small children, because you need duplicates, twins, and picture cars, because the picture cars always break down. I can't tell you how many times we've done shots where they've broken down. My own experience, I've had experiences where cars traveling down the road and all of a sudden the rear end flies out. Those things are, but you gotta be able to react and be fast with it. Put another car in there. A lot of times the director will go, you know what? They'll say to the captain, you're a daily guy, I want him in the car driving in the shot.
Do you mean I can be driving a car on camera?
Yes, you can. You can be driving a car on camera, because sometimes the actor that they've hired doesn't know how to drive, who's had his driver's license, but he's maybe driven 4 times in 8 years, and he feels apprehensive. So the director will say, well, you know what? We're going to put you in this shot. We're going to put you in the car and you're going to drive. And you'll be paid for it, either a voucher or a cash slip or whatever, on top of the day that you're working as a picture car wrangler.
Can you give me some examples of picture cars on set?
Sure. I can give you a couple offhand. So one was a 3 in a tree. It was a 55 Meteor. And it was a Sunday, and we were shooting a wedding scene. And the scene was the groom is coming over the bride out of the church, and he's going to slide the bride over to the passenger seat. The groom's going to hop in and drive away. Well, as it was driving away, the camera was set up on a dolly, and they're going to shoot it coming this way. They hop in and they drive away. I went to the director and I said, does the actor know how to drive standard? Does he know how to drive 3 in a tree? The director said to me, well, Brian, basically that's what he told me, but I don't know. Why don't you go ask him? So I went and asked this actor, who's from New York. And I said, do you know how to drive standard? He goes, of course. I got a Z28. I go, do you know how to drive 3 in a tree? What's a 3 in a tree? What are you talking about? So I brought him out to the car, and I explained to him, this are the gears. I got it. Typical New Yorker, and I loved it. I also knew it was going to happen. So when they did the shot, instead of him going forward, he went in reverse. And people jumped off the camera dolly. Yeah, he stopped from the camera. The director was like all ghostly white, heart pounding. Brian, kick the bride out. Put the groom in the passenger seat and drive him around. Well, on the back window, it said, just married. And back in 1955, it wasn't pop cans. It was soup cans hanging out the back. And the props people did a great job, because they had about 200 soup cans hanging out the back. So as you see me driving away with me and this groom, and it said just married in the back window, the crew were in hysterics, laughing their heads up. But he finally got the shot. He finally got the shot. That's just one of them. I've had other shows where on Flash of Genius, where driving over the Cherry Street Bridge, and as we yelled, action, rolling, he took off. And the car went about 200 feet, and all of a sudden I watched the rear end just bounce up and down twice, and then the whole thing came out from the back of the car, and the car dragged another 50 feet. And the actor came out and was like, Brian, it's not my fault. Defective, rotted, Those things happen, but it's how you react to it. Those are things that are unexpected. And as a picture car coordinator, you're going through all your diligence checks, your due checks on everything when you're renting a car. Because let's say you have a car, you have a 1970 Chevelle that you're now 70 years old, and I want that car. And you sold that car in 1975 to buy your first house for $5,000, and now you put your kids through education. Now you're buying that car 33 years later for $70,000. You got to make sure it's someone who knows how to drive it, and they're going to look after it. And you, as a picture car regular, a daily, you got to have respect for the vehicles. Just like if you own the vehicle, There's lots of funny picture car stories. Lots, lots. But you're working with actors. You will work long hours. You'll probably miss your family. You have to have a husband or wife or a partner who's understanding of the hours that you're going to work. Because when you say to your partner, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm leaving the house at 5 o'clock and I won't be getting home till 1 o'clock in the morning, you think, really? But those are the hours that you take. But the reality is that you're working with a nucleus of people who are doing the same hours. So it's not like you're segregated, oh, it's just you. Everybody's doing it. But everybody loves what they're doing. So when you love what you're doing, it's not just a job, it's a journey. And when you love what you're doing, you're not looking at the clock. You're not going, oh God, I can't wait for it to be 4 o'clock. Oh. Before you know it, you start at 7. Before you know it, it's like 8 o'clock, and then you go, oh my God, where'd the day go by? And we've still got 2 more shots to do. Let's do it. Because you're passionate. You're all passionate, you know? There's more pros than anything. The cons are long hours. That's it. And sleep deprivation. That's it. And you're going to miss your family. That's it. But you can make up for that by having a job that feeds you. Unheard of. Have a job that pays you well, pays you what you're worth, and the sacrifice that you make, you'll be rewarded with financially. A job that's creative. You're going to meet people from, in not only just transport, in our union, from all over the world, all over the place, and multi-talented, and everybody's special. Everybody brings gifts because it's a passionate business. You're doing a job that started with one idea, a beginning, middle, and end that you can write on a yellow sticky note. Guy has girl. Guy loses girl. Guy gets girl in the end. That's the basis on almost every story that's ever made in Hollywood. Now they've changed it to adapt to the 21st century, which is fantastic. But you get to have a great job. And it's not just a job, it's a journey. And it's a journey. And down the road, your grandchildren will go, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, my uncle worked on that. My aunt worked on that. My grandmother worked on that. You know, these are the stories. And you'll be able to tell amazing stories. I have amazing stories that I've done. I've had my wife on set many times. I've had my children with me on set many times where my children go, it kind of ruined it for me, Dad, because now I know how it plays out because there's magic to it, you know?
So what do I do at the end of the night when taking a shuttle van